Subscribe to the all-new HardLore Patreon now for early, ad-free access to every episode and an exclusive episode every month.
The day after Thanksgiving, we had a show the day off to go to Thanksgiving. We went to Waffle House and we parked our van in a hotel that had extended stay airport parking, and then it was just gone the next morning.
Yeah.
They found the husk of the van in one bag of t-shirts. That's it.
Hello, welcome. It's HardLore time. How are you, Bo?
I'm full of happiness. I'll tell you what.
That was good. Me too. And it's because of this incredible guest we have and this incredible episode we have for you all. Allow me to make a very special introduction. Please, everyone, welcome the guitar player and songsmith for the band that can only be described as George Washington on the modern grindcore Mount Rushmore, Spencer Hazard of Full of Hell.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
So good.
So great. How are you doing?
Good. Just usual, getting ready for tour. So
Yeah.
When does that start?
Thursday.
Oh.
The day this episode comes out. Where's the first show?
Where are you at in the country?
In Maryland, coastal Maryland.
Yeah.
It's called Berlin. So we're
Well, that's east, let me tell you.
hours away from any city.
Perfect. I can hear the Maryland in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that big city we all know and love in Maryland.
Baltimore.
Oh, he said it.
Oh, there's a little more T than D in there for you.
Yeah, we have our own accent compared to the rest of Maryland. It's shorebilly. That's what it's called.
Shorebilly.
What are your thoughts on soft shell crab?
They're okay. I like the legs aspect of it, but once I get to the guts, I'm
dude, Colin, you fuck with that?
The soft shell?
Yeah.
No, he nailed it with the leg.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I went to the aquarium recently. Just watching them fuckers walk around was like...
That's a... But dude, when I was a fishmonger, as you know, every season we would have soft shell crabs, and you know what they call the guts and everything? Mustard.
But
it's called the mustard. It's fucking
And that's some people specifically seek that out, or the eggs that look like carrots when you open it up. That's the best part.
I'll give it a whirl. I'm not afraid of. I'll eat any meat has been my motto for 32 years now.
Never failed you.
Never failed me one. Except for them squid legs. Those were too gamey. Anyway, Spencer, Full of Hell's new record, Coagulated Bliss, is out April 26th on Closed Casket. Love to see that.
Yeah.
It is your 6th LP, but your 31st official release. And the question I have for that is, how?
So, I don't really know how to play guitar. So, the way that I play guitar is just figuring out songs. I don't know anybody else's songs. I know riffs, but even when I first started playing guitar, I'm this is kind of confusing. I'm just going to come up with my own stuff.
Wow. And then you end up putting out stuff that I'm listening to all day today going, the hell's going on?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to guitar lessons for maybe a year, and I was I don't like this. I learned 5 chords and the pentatonic scale, and I learned a couple Metallica riffs when I was 13.
That's all you need.
And then that was it. And then I was just all right, well, these chords don't work. I'm just going to try to figure out shit until it does work.
Dude.
Wow.
I don't know that I've ever in the history of the show identified with the way that somebody said that as much as you just did.
Oh, cool.
I can sit down and rip my own songs all day. I just learned Crazy Train the other day, and I'm still jazzed on it. And that's maybe one of 3 externally written songs that I know.
Did you learn the verse riff? The
No, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet, but I got the riff down.
It makes you feel like you're playing fucking Final Fantasy or something. It's awesome.
Dude, you ever just put Crazy Train on, Spencer?
Hell. Oh, sorry.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's
Holy
all.
shit.
That's all they play on like the local rock stations around here. So
Yeah.
like,
That's a good.
you know.
I got Imagine Dragons on mine. You got Crazy Train?
Yeah.
Dude.
Imagine.
I'm not trying to divert too much from the conversation, but it came up. There's a radio station near Milwaukee called The Hog, and I called in the other day with a request, and I was the head hog of the day, and I got a T-shirt. It's fucking sick.
What did you request?
They were playing like, Iron Maiden, and I requested Dio.
Well, that's a nice little tidbit.
Yeah, I got the shirt. I'll wear it sometime. Don't worry about it.
All right, sounds good.
Anyway.
So Spencer, you're learning by writing, and I think that is one of the best things that anybody listening that is like trying to start a band or trying to learn an instrument can take away from this. Just make shit.
And like I like purposely stifled myself when I started Full of Hell. I was like, I don't really like want to get better as a guitar player. And like, that is kind of like, it's been a hindrance where I look back now as I'm older and be like, I kind of wish I learned this, this, and this, but it's also too has made me be more creative and being like, I don't know how to do this. So how am I going to get around it?
How interesting. Yeah.
Do you write within a comfort zone, or do you expand the comfort zone a little bit on each record?
I think it's like, I think I boxed myself in when we were starting, and it's like, there was certain stuff where I was like, oh, that's too metal sounding. That's too punk sounding. But now as I've gotten older, I'm like, as long as it sounds cool, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all as long as it works and serves for the benefit of the song, like whatever the project is. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And you have to evolve.
Of course.
If you don't evolve, you can't put out 31 records,
Yeah. Yeah.
It just don't work. Speaking of which, a few weeks ago on the show, we were racking our brains trying to find bands that have done 4 splits. Remember that, Bo?
I do.
We were like, who is in the 4 split club? When only Full of Hell, I think, is in the 8 split club. And that is not including collabs.
Oh, yeah. So that's not Full of Health. That's like its own.
Oh, that's just splits.
Jesus Christ.
I know. How do those come about? And you started doing those real early. Like it seems like you had your identity kind of etched out right away, because you did 2 demos, an EP, and a noise record before you put out a full length.
Yeah. And the first split came about because the first guy that like put out our records was Dave Heck from, outside of Philly, like Reign Supreme, all those bands. And he put out our first 7-inch, and then he was like, hey, do you guys want to do a split with this band? They were called Gold Dust from Germany, and that was our in to go to Europe for the first time too. So perfect. We went to Europe on 2 7-inches for the first time.
What year would that have been?
2010. So we have been a band for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That is amazing.
You started in 2009.
2009. And then it was like the most DIY tour ever. The police confiscated the van because we had like beach chairs in it, and the steering didn't work, and Dylan was driving most of the time.
They took the whole van?
Yeah, they took the whole van, and the band we were with, we were like, hey, you guys rented the van, like, you have to get us back to the airport. And we were like in the middle of Germany, like Bavaria, and we had to get back to Stockholm in 2 days.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we made it.
Holy shit, dude. Was that the end of the tour?
Yeah, it was like 3 days before we had to fly home. And Dave Heck came with us for like the first like 4 or 5 days, but like by the time he left, I think I was the oldest person on tour, and I was 22.
Oh my God. So everybody else was fresh out of high school, and you were forced to be band dad?
Dave was still in high school. Me and Dylan wrote a fake contract and gave it to the Board of Education so he could leave school for a month when he was 16.
Oh, that's punk as fuck.
That's what it's all about, motherfucker.
Wow.
God damn that.
Wow,
rocks.
that's sick.
Yeah, he was supposed to go to summer school to finish, and they forgot to send the paperwork, so he just got off like half a year for free to go tour.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the American dream right there.
Summer school's the worst, man. That's a double win. Jesus.
Dude, you know what I had to take in summer? Did you guys go to summer school?
I went to one summer, yeah.
No.
I had to take health in summer school.
Is it because you failed or what?
No, it's because I just didn't do it. Like I had to take Where is Dick and Balls in summer school.
That was
Truly pathetic.
That was my freshman year first period class, and the first lesson plan was sex ed. So
Yeah,
day 2 of high school was like, here you go.
Just rock hard through the mesh shorts.
You had to do a health in 9th grade.
No joke, second period, gym class. It was misery. It was a miserable.
Dude, rock hard. Anyway, so the collab records, we'll get into those extensively much later, but
Okay.
it's being that those are not included in the splits. That's such an interesting concept. Just writing a whole record with another band,
Especially so early.
yeah.
Yeah.
How are those all written 100% collaboratively? And is there one band in particular you think you meshed with when making those more than any?
So the first one we ever did was with Merzbow, who is like, legendary noise guy, been doing it since the 70s. We were playing a show at St. Vitus, and at that point he had a live drummer, and his live drummer came to the show and was like, hey, like, I played with Merzbow, like, we should do a collaboration record. And we were like, okay, yeah, sure. But then like 2 days later, he actually emailed us with Masami CC'd in and was like, all right, let's do this. And I mean, that was kind of like getting thrown in on the deep end for the first collab.
Right.
And he was just essentially like, do what you want. Here's an hour of noise. Do what you want with it. So that record was like the first time, like, so for the first collab, we like actually wrote a record and then just like interspersed him into the songs. Once we started doing stuff with the body was when we started like truly collaborating with other bands.
Okay.
Got you. Dude, you think noise artists just have like, I got hours of songs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been yelling all day. Yeah, and then you can have it.
yeah.
Is that a noise? Are collabs like a noise thing?
Oh yeah. Like,
Okay.
I don't know.
I feel like that's specifically where like
You want to get together and just make some noise together?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah. Over 100 copies sold.
yeah.
the two body collabs, those were like front to back written together.
And those weren't even like written together. We went to the studio and improvised.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fucking cool.
And the guy that the studio that we work at, Machines with Magnets, like he's a genius with like just recording and shit. So we would go in there, be like, all right, I got this idea, riff it out, be like, okay, I got this drum part. And then he would just like type it all in and put a song together.
That's fucking awesome.
So yeah.
Dude, a good engineer, like a good wizard at the knobs.
I do think that's the beauty of noise too. And I think it's easy to like look at noise from afar and be like, think it's silly.
Yeah.
But like playing with knobs and creating like out of nothingness, creating a noise that has never been made before is one of the most rewarding things I have ever felt. Just a harsh screech that has yet to exist. Beautiful feel.
Dude, I'm sure we've all seen like Dead Mouse, the furthest thing from noise or whatever, but he's got like the craziest home studio ever. He has a whole modular synthesizer wall that's all analog synth, and that's exactly what he does. And in watching, he has like a masterclass. I watched it and was like, oh, that's fucking awesome.
That's
like,
fun.
That's unique. It's daunting, but that's cool. So I can appreciate it, but I don't know about that world. Like I have zero exposure.
Yeah.
You make the na 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 na. Do you do any of the noise programming?
Oh yeah, I mean, like a lot of the studio like is me, and then Dylan will like do it in the live setting just because it's like I can't do both kind of thing. Like
Okay.
I have had setups where I'm like running through my guitar stuff, but it's just like so much stuff to set up and tear down.
Yeah, that's a 50-minute changeover.
If you're not opening or headlining, forget it. Like
It ain't happening.
yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Wow.
That's one of my favorite parts about seeing Full of Hell. And from early on was Dylan doing live noise shit and working his own pedals and doing his own shit. I just think that's a cool dynamic that I can't remember another band doing in my memory.
In our specific world.
In our world, yeah, obviously.
The cool thing about noise too, the way that you guys do it live is that there's kind of no way to like replicate those noises perfectly every time.
I mean, not really. Like Dylan will have like samplers running, but for the most part, like whatever. Like, because I mean, even with like the synths you use and stuff, like they change tone depending on the venue, like the electricity going through and all that stuff.
What other genre can you say that about?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You're getting a different show every night.
Yeah, right.
Depending on the current on the stage that day.
Well, Spencer,
Beautiful.
I watched your Earthquaker like pedal board, kind of rig rundown like earlier today, and you were one of the first people to mention like the ABY like ground switch and that affecting tone and affecting just like your noise, like actual unwanted noise with it in general. And like that's the kind of thing that I always thought as a guitar player, like I thought I was going crazy, where it's like, no, things change from venue to venue and wiring is different everywhere. And tube heads especially can be very like, they're going to react differently to different outlets and stuff.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like from us touring so much, like we kind of have it mapped out where we're like, all right, it's kind of going to sound like shit today.
Yeah. Like you know, the venues that they sound like shit and they're even worse on stage, but the crowd's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think you're also proof, and you and a few other bands are proof that like any room can sound good if you know what you're doing.
Mm. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, you got to we've been doing it for so long and playing like so many diverse venues that we know how to like read a room before we even like get on stage. We're like, all right, I know we're not going to be able to hear each other tonight. So we got to like set up a certain way and stuff.
Do you have a sound guy you tour with?
I would say in the last like 5 years, but like, I mean, we like did so much DIY stuff for so long that we got used to like just playing venues without like monitors or any of that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
On that subject, my God, Spencer, the word grind applies in a few different ways here. I've said many times on this show that I don't think there is a band that is a better example of just not giving up and grinding until it works than Full of Hell.
Oh, thank you.
Because, my God, there were some years there where it was like, holy shit, Full of Hell made it. They made it work, dude. That like it went from like that band is always on tour. Holy shit, how are they doing it? To oh my God, these shows look insane. They have developed this like their own lane and culture behind them. Especially like right before the body collabs, I think, is where things changed. Like I saw a noticeable change where it was just like, holy shit, Full of Hell did it. Like you guys were Rocky to me. You did not give up in a way where many bands didn't grind in the same way. And then they didn't grind as hard as you and then gave up because it didn't work out.
Mm. Yeah.
You grinded the hardest and didn't give up. And now here we are 31 releases later. Was there a tour where you kind of finally felt like, oh, this is actually pretty good? This seems like kind of a good tour.
I mean, I feel like it was like Okay, so going back to an old episode, I'm throwing it back to something Drew Brown said on the Weekend Nachos episode.
Let's go back.
He was like, "Oh, I think Weekend Nachos took Full of Hell out on one of their first tours." It's like, no, I think we had gone to Europe like 3 times by that point. We had done that tour. So
yeah, Drew.
But I honestly think it was the Weekend Nachos tour where we like played in Miami, and it was just like absolutely insane. Like, playing at Churchill's at like 2 a.m, and kids were just like hanging from the ceiling and stuff like that.
Wow.
What year would that have been?
I would say, I think that was 2012.
Okay.
So you're 3 years into the band.
Yeah.
And now bands are playing fests 2 months after their demo comes out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we've been a band for 15 years, and we're still like fighting to get on fests.
Oh,
31 records later.
Yeah.
when we might be jumping ahead a little bit. When did Trumpeting Ecstasy come out?
2017.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's quite a bit of time, because that's one in my mind. So that was the sea change for me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out where we are. Okay, cool.
Well, let's go. All right, now I think it's time. It's only fair that we go back in time now, Spencer.
Okay.
Because we've got to crack this nut off real quick.
Okay.
Come on, man.
For lack of a better word, tell me about Spencer W. Hazard before Full of Hell. Tell me about finding extreme music in this beautiful, wacky world we're in.
Because my town is like very small and very backwoods. Like, it is a resort town, but like when it's not summertime, there's only like 20,000 people that live here.
Okay.
Do you know everybody or what?
Kind of. Like my dad knows everybody because he does construction. So
is it one of those towns where when somebody new moves in, they're like, oh, they moved into the old Johnson place?
Yeah, essentially. Like ever since COVID, like, and people started like leaving cities, it's like way different. But like growing up, it was like, yeah, you knew everybody. But like, I think I got into like Punkorama when I was like, I think like 10 or 11. Like my redneck cousin had a bunch of Punkorama CDs, and he was just yeah, you can have them.
Dude, it's easy to clown on stuff like that. Or like,
I think it's difficult.
I'm saying it's easy just to be like, like Newfound doing like the cover, like there's that cover compilation, all this. It's like, it's easy to be like, yeah, but like a lot of that stuff is so instrumental in getting you into what you're going to be into.
I think Punkorama,
absolutely,
Victory Style,
Tony Hawk
are the big 3 just gateways of our like roughly our generation.
1,000%.
The Punkorama he gave me was like 2.5 or 3 or something, and it had like agnostic front and the cramps on it.
Come on.
So that was like, yeah. So like hearing that, like, and then from there just getting into like the Ramones and stuff like that. Yeah. Like I was absolutely obsessed with the Ramones, and there was a couple underground like, small record stores around here. And the one guy, he would just let me go through his personal collection. Like my parents for like one of my birthdays bought me, before, records were going crazy amount of money, an original pressing of Halloween by the Misfits.
Dude,
do you still have it?
Yeah, it's like in my closet in a frame.
Okay, well, if you ever need to like buy,
God forbid anything happens, you talk to HardLore.
If there's an IRS emergency, we'll split
it. Yeah, straight up, we'll joint custody.
Yeah. I have a promo copy of Leave Home by the Ramones where it says like, do not sell to public. I sold it, but I had an original pressing of Viva Hate by Morrissey that still said like, don't sell to the public and stuff like that.
Journalist
property of Stephen, do not sell.
Yeah, and then there's like another record store where it's like, I found my first Cattle Decapitation CD and Carcass CD and stuff like that. So it's like there was all these small gems in these like, small record stores.
How old are you now?
I'm 35.
35. Okay, so I'm a year older than you, so we're essentially the same age.
Yeah.
And you were getting into punk and stuff when you were about 11, 12, you said?
I would say like 6th, 7th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
You don't have an older sibling to guide you? It was just this
So I'm an only child.
Me, same here, dude. We're out
tough
there.
journey. So the fact that thank God for these local record stores in a small vacation town.
Tony Hawk.
Could have gone any other way. Punkorama to the Ramones to Morrissey to Carcass. That's kind of best case scenario.
Was Punkorama Warped Tour related?
So the closest Warped Tour to me was still like 3 or 4 hours away. Like I finally, I went to my first Warped Tour when I was like 15, but I like started going to local shows when I was like 12. Like it was like $2 to go to the bus, and I'd just go to like the like local, VFW hall. And I have like old flyers at my parents' house of like Death by Stereo played there, and Fall Out Boy was supposed to play there, and shit like that.
Wow.
Death by Stereo was an early band for me, probably around that age, around 11 or 12.
Yeah.
We played with them in Europe the last time we were there. We just had like a one-off random show somewhere in Germany with them, and they were so awesome. It was like a very full circle moment, and they were cool as fuck. But what I meant to say was Punkorama, was that a Warped Tour release?
It was Epitaph.
It was Epitaph. That's right.
Did Punkorama.
Did Warp have a compilation too? I feel like there was another.
I mean, it was probably like the Vans Warped Tour compilation.
Yeah, because I remember them at like Hot Topic and stuff in the mall.
Yeah.
Promotional. Yeah, I never did that. I only went to one Warped Tour, and I just saw Andrew WK and went home.
I only went to one Warped Tour also, and it was the one that we were on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, when I was like 14 or 15 in like 9th grade, I got into like the more like metalcore scene stuff a little bit, but it just like, I only was into it for like maybe a year. And then I got the one Hellfest DVD that had the Locust in it. And then once I saw the Locust, I was like, all right, I'm done.
I'm done with this other shit.
Yeah.
I heard there's a documentary coming about Hellfest.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Man.
a good, like the hardcore metalcore Hellfest, like a doc coming.
Those lineups look, the videos and lineups look fake now.
Yeah. Yeah. Straight up.
Which is awesome. How long have you been straight edge, Spencer?
Since I was 15.
Yeah.
And I think I like me and my friends, of course, would, like steal alcohol from their parents and stuff. And then one time I just like got in trouble, and then I was just like, all right, I don't want to do this shit. And then I got the one Throwdown CD, and I was just like,
dude, almost identical story. I used to steal my mom's booze, and then I got Beyond Repair, and I downloaded like Raise Your Fist, and it was like,
probably to the day here.
Yeah, honestly, probably the same summer.
Happy 20th anniversary, guys.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna say, like from not knowing you very well outside of running into you a couple times and playing some shows together, I was gonna say you very much give the impression that you were always like a metal dude. So even to hear you say that you were into like some metalcore stuff, punk stuff, it's refreshing. It's nice. I love hearing that somebody got into where we are now through like punk and I don't know.
I think like it was just like it started out punk because since we are like a resort beach town, there's so much like surfing and skateboarding and stuff like that. So it's more punk adjacent than metal adjacent. But then it's like, when you turn 14 or 15, you get like MySpace and MTV2, and then you get Headbangers Balls. So you're like, oh, there's that stuff.
Absolutely. And part of the journey is finding out what you don't like. And when a lot of your peers are like, yo, this metalcore shit is awesome, you should check this out. Part of you is like, okay, well, what am I missing?
Yeah.
Because like I'm supposed to like this, so I got to give it a shot. And then you grow up and you realize you're not supposed to like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our tastes are our tastes.
I remember specifically like the divide of like, playing music with my friends and stuff, where I was like, getting more into like the Hydra head stuff. And then once I started getting really into like Municipal Waste, they're like, that shit sucks. I don't know what you're doing now listening to stuff like this. So I'm like,
what were they into?
Just like, I don't know, like the same scene emo stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and they just never got out of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of those people, I find, respectfully, never do get out of it. And now they're just parents somewhere.
Have they written 31 records?
No. I think like most of them gave up on music after a while.
Yeah.
So go that if you're listening, go the Hydra Head Municipal Waste route. You know.
Yeah.
It'll get you to 31. What was your first band ever?
We were called Ghosts for Heroes. It was like my friend named it after like some line from like a Pink Floyd record, but it was like screamo.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I went from that to like a moshy straight edge band.
Fuck yeah. So Throwdown.
Yeah.
What was that band called?
Heroes for Ghosts.
We were called In It to Win It.
Oh, dude. Perfect.
Oh my God.
Were there X's? Were there any X's?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew it. There had to be.
We were supposed to release a record on that label 1981. If you remember that label.
I do not remember 1981. It is symmetrical though. I like that.
But that was like they had like Suffocate Faster and X Represent X on it and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this the Seventh Dagger alternative label?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So like
not in their neighborhood, motherfucker. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So like I was in that band for like a year, and then our drummer ended up joining that band Kingdom from Philly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he did one European tour with them, came back, and there was like the singer of that band and him had issues. So we're like, let's just start a new band. And I was like, I was into, like I said, some metalcore stuff, but this was when I was like 18 or 19. So like you see like promos and they're all wearing like, you know, the metal, like moshcore shirts. And I'm wearing like a Drop Dead or Charles Bronson shirt and stuff.
Charles Bronson rips. Let me ask you something. This is a vulnerable question. Did you own a white studded belt?
Oh yeah, of course. When I was like 16. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I wish I had that. I did have the XXX belt buckle.
Dude, Chris Mills had that.
Dude, if you bend over, you're bleeding from the fucking belly. Your belly button's in half.
I had a straight, it just said straight XXX edge on a navy hoodie. I still have it, size small, but I had it in high school. You know, that's the one thing I still have. Yeah,
hard as hell. So In It, X to Win It, Heroes for Ghosts, Ghosts for Heroes.
But yeah, then Ghosts for Heroes. Yeah, that shit's long gone. Thank God.
We'll see about that. We got some sleuths.
Yeah. But yeah, he came back from the tour with Kingdom, and then like we were like, let's do something more like along the lines of like Cursed and stuff like that, and then that's what became Full of Hell.
Really? That soon? Wow.
Yeah. So Dylan wasn't even the original singer.
Wow. That's, I mean, you got to change the wiki then. This is huge. We're about to be in the references section of your wiki, so I'm really proud of that. Who was the original singer? What was his name?
His name was Dustin. I haven't talked to him in like a decade, so.
Well,
it's funny you say that. Dustin, come on in.
Dustin, yeah. That was good. That'll be fun. Wow, that's awesome. So were you quite a bit older than Dylan, Dave, and Brandon at the time?
Dylan is a year older, or Dylan's a year younger than me, and we met because he was touring playing guitar for a band, and Full of Hell was it was our second Full of Hell tour, and our singer ended up quitting after that tour. So Dylan hit us up and was like, I'll sing for you guys. And we're like, but you live like 6 hours away from us. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. We'll figure it out. And then it's just been that ever since.
What a fucking call or email or whatever he did. That's fucking genius. Jeez.
That's awesome. Wow, that's really interesting. I truly did not know that he wasn't the OG guy. So there's on the first two demos, he's not the guy?
On the first 2 demos, he's not the guy. On the original demo, there's this like Christian metalcore band, but the drummer lives around here, and it's this band called Oh Sleeper, and the drummer of that band plays on the first 4-song Full of Hell demo. But we had to pay him like $50 to play on that.
Session guy.
Yeah,
very Christian of him.
and then from like connections of like doing tours with In It to Win It, I booked the first Full of Hell tour after we'd been a band for like 3 months, and it was a 3-week East Coast tour.
Oh my God.
And I hit up Dave, and he was like, I've never played a show before. And I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Damn. So this was his first band.
His like first band. I gave him a list of probably like 200 bands of just like power violence and grind and death metal. I'm like, check out this stuff. And he's like, okay.
Wow. And he's a fucking animal, dude.
Yeah.
Truly unbelievable drummer. So, man,
It's hard.
that's very cool to hear.
Yeah.
Wow. Great job there. You showed him the right stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So your first tour was a 3-week East Coast thing. You booked yourself. To this day, what would you say was the worst single day you've had on a tour?
I mean, probably when our van got stolen, but
Okay. You had one of those too?
That was semi-recently. Yeah.
yeah. And, the day after Thanksgiving, we had a show the day off to go to Thanksgiving. We went to Waffle House, and we parked our van like in a hotel that had like extended stay airport parking, and then it was just gone the next morning.
Yeah.
They found the husk of the van in 1 bag of t-shirts. That's it.
The husk?
Yeah.
They parted it out.
Yeah. I was on my way to the notary place to get the final check to get like the Kelly Blue Book value of the van. And as I was on my way, the insurance lady called me and was like, well, we found the skeleton of your van, so we're going to give you $2,000 for it.
Oh God. I remember after that happened, because it was not too long after we had all our shit, and I was texting Dylan just about do this.
Here's what you do.
Yeah. Like you guys are gonna have some light on you. Reach out to brands and companies that you want to work with, because now's the time, and you're gonna blah blah blah. I remember that. And God, that's the worst. The worst. Why would you ask? What was the worst day?
And you guys have such weird, specific shit that you use live that had to have been near. Have you even replaced all that to this day?
Yeah, we were able to get a lot of it replaced, and especially too, it was immediately after that tour, COVID happened, so we had to cancel a European tour a month later. So I had an aluminum guitar stolen, but Dave had a ride cymbal gifted to him from Igor Cavalera. So that's just gone now.
No. Well, Igor,
if you're listening, Dave needs another ride.
Did you have one of Dean's amps taken? Were you playing those at the time?
No, not at the time.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But we it was a custom, it was the 4th guitar this guy had ever built, an aluminum guitar. That's just
perfect,
gone forever.
And it probably got fucking sold to some shitty pawn shop or eBay bullshit liar.
Or my wife says, she's it's so distinct that it would pop up on Reverb or Facebook Marketplace. She's like, it's probably just in some kid's fucking closet that his parents, his dad was like, here's a guitar.
How long you been married?
Coming up on a year.
Oh,
wow.
That's tough.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats. How long have you been together?
I would say almost right before the van got stolen is when we first started talking to each other and seeing each other.
Where was she that day?
Yeah.
She was in Minneapolis, so.
Oh, perfect.
A likely story.
Good mall.
Great mall. Big one.
You got a beautiful custom aluminum guitar stolen. What kind of guitar are you playing now? I got a picture of it here. Could you describe it for Bo?
I mean, it depends on one. I got so many guitars at this point. I don't know which one.
I'm looking at a pink one.
Oh, the pink one rocks.
The pink aluminum one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the like replacement I got for the orange aluminum one that was stolen.
The pink aluminum one, yes, as opposed to the other pink one, possibly.
Yes, I have a pink Jazzmaster too.
Oh no, I'm looking at the pink Jazzmaster.
Oh, okay.
So much jazz can come out of this thing.
Yeah.
Again, I watched your Earthquaker thing, and you were playing. Were you playing a Jazzmaster on the rhythm selection? You play the neck pickup?
No.
Okay, good. It was just the camera then.
Yeah, I think it's the camera. A lot of the times I just have those like gutted out, and it's just like usually just one pickup in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah. So that's the worst single day on tours when Full of Hell got there.
I was just gonna say sometimes I want to get into like guitar shit and gear shit, but I know that's really niche, and I don't want to like bore people. But
this seems like the time to do it, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I think such a large part of the Full of Hell following is just like guys who, or not guys specifically, but gear people.
Yeah.
Who and to your own admission, you're like, I'm not the best guitar player. I just make stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's what I know how to do. I think that's the best. That's the most important thing, and that's like why Full of Hell connects with so many people. It's just like you're doing it right. You're doing it on your own terms. You're just making cool shit with cool toys, which is fun.
yeah.
So tell us about those toys, Spencer.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Spencer.
Yes.
You have an extensive pedal board, which has each one of them has 3 points that can fail that plug into each other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Power supplies and grounding issues and step downs when you go to Europe and all this stuff. Is there any appeal to you towards getting away from actual pedals and moving into amp modelers or effects processors?
Never amp modelers, just because it's like playing live. It's not even like hearing myself. It's feeling the stage vibrate. Like I can't deal with not feeling what's going on behind me.
Totally.
But as far as like pedals, like, I mean, I could do a whole set without any pedals. It's just like, we do a bunch of stuff where we do a bunch of like improv and stuff during our set. So it's like just little flavors, but like I could do a whole set with just like a delay pedal or something.
Got you.
But why not, use the Batman utility belt of pedal boards?
To be devil's advocate, I use a 700 watt power amp that's pushing a cab behind me with a quad cortex that's doing all the effects. So like she can rumble if you wanted to. I'm just when I look at a board like that, or like Code Orange was like infamous, always like Reba always had some bullshit going on kind of thing, I look at crazy setups and all I do is I go into catastrophe mode where everything's gonna go wrong.
One patch cable.
Yeah. I got an idea coming. It's coming. Don't worry about that. And so that's why I ask, is like watching your Earthquaker thing. I was just like, oh my God, that's a lot of patch cables. That's a lot of solder that can go insane.
Yeah. And like, there's definitely been times where I'm just like, I think it was like one time we were playing Aladdin's and just like, someone kicked my pedal board off the stage.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll just plug right into the amp. It doesn't matter.
That's
so
right.
like, I mean, like I said, I could do a full tour with just like a delay and a tuner, but it's like, I mean, I'm just trying to make it interesting for myself and even each other. And like, as you're saying about like the power amp and stuff, it's just like, I don't know, a head on a cab just looks so much cooler.
No argument ever. There's nothing cooler. When we played, I think it was 2015, we played a couple shows together, like in the summer, in like Texas maybe, or Kansas, something. And you were playing out of a full stack Marshalls, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
I think vaguely in my memory. And it just like, I remember thinking like, damn, they look cool as hell. It's such an easy, like, wow.
It breaks my heart, Spencer, that the one tour our bands have ever done together is the one tour in my entire life that I've been filled in for.
Oh, yeah. Is that the Nails tour?
The one Nails God's Hateful of Hell. Great tour.
Yeah.
One tour I didn't do.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's why.
Oh, I mean,
Who filled in for you? You were playing guitar at the time.
Yeah, I was playing guitar at the time. Kyle joined the band right after that,
That's right.
essentially. Sad.
yeah,
was
and
it?
I think that tour was, I would say every show was good except for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was like, for some reason, something flipped, and it was just like, wow, this show's weird as shit.
Interesting.
There's got to be some. They can't all be winners. You know?
Hey,
Yeah.
it's hit or miss. Am I right?
I mean, it was that day.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Home of the Big Mac. Wow. You did a split was the split with Nails before that or after?
I think it was right before, maybe. I can't.
Led to the tour in some way or another? One led to the other?
Yeah, exactly.
Really cool. Is there a split that comes to mind that you're most proud of or remember just being most jazzed on? The Psy Warfare one's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the one we did with that band Intensive Care.
Oh,
Yes.
dude.
Especially too because we covered Brutal Truth, but we covered the 5 second long song Brutal Truth song, and we
Yeah.
Love it.
we started adding that to our live set as well.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah, but it's like that was like a split where I was just like, all right, 500 copies, gonna be up for like an hour, one and done, never pressed again, and so just people are so mad about it, but I'm like, hey, we're gonna stick to our guns and not repress it.
No, exactly. That's the fun. That's what creating the like scarcity of that. I understand some people being mad they can't get it, but that's the fun part. Is the people that do get it talk about it forever, and it's this thing that they're proud to have, and then everybody tries to get the next one. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun stuff. 2014, 2015 is when again I said that I could see Full of Hell getting this like culture of its own, this life of its own, in their own lane. And then the collabs popped off. The body ones really was where I was like, damn, this band is the shit. They're doing their own thing. Do you have plans to do kind of close the trilogy with the body at any point?
not currently, but I mean, we already have another collab record recorded and sitting on it until this record's out, and it's like with another guy, but it is like it's completely opposite end of the spectrum of Coagulated.
Okay.
Oh.
Do people know about this?
No.
Exclusive HardLore content.
We've been working on this one for I think like 4 years, trading stuff back and forth.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Any horns
Like
on it?
fucking Def Leppard.
I think there's saxophone on it.
You know, I'm glad you bring that up. In 2015, like I said, we played some shows together, and you guys had a saxman on
Yes.
stage. I mean this purely objectively. I am not for horns. I'm just not a horn guy in aggressive music. That's just my stance.
Pro horn, just to get that out there.
He's a pro horner. I'm not anti. I'm just not pro. It's not. If you can pull it off, you can pull it off. But
Yeah.
I bring this up to say, when we played with you guys and your guy who was playing sax wasn't playing and he was just going off and headbanging hard as hell, I thought that was one of the coolest things I've actually ever seen.
So yeah, that's Sam. He plays bass now.
Oh,
So-
awesome.
That's smart.
How did bringing saxophone into a project like Full of Hell come about? I've wanted to ask you that since 2015.
I think it was like a situation where we were just like playing a lot of shows where we already stuck out. So we're like, why don't we be even more annoying? And just
That's the kind of the best answer you could have given me. You did it because you're kind of leaning into it.
yeah, we were like,
Wow.
I mean, we always like we are very influenced by like noise rock bands like Brain Bombs and stuff like that, where it's like and even like I mean from Chicago like Rectal Hygienics and stuff.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
they have sax and stuff in it. I think it's just to be confrontational and add an extra layer. And that was like, like I said, it's like we already stick out like a sore thumb on a lot of these shows because I think that tour was down to like South by Southwest when it started to
Yeah.
like first year it started to really fucking suck.
Yeah.
And we were just like, you know what? Let's just like, piss people off even more. It's just like,
wow.
So
dude, grind ska is a concept.
Is a saxophone considered a horn? Because it's a woodwind?
I think it's a woodwind, right?
It is a woodwind for sure. But when you say take it to the horns, like when Bruce Springsteen talks to the horn section, is he talking sax? I don't know either.
I think horns are here.
Sax.
I don't know. I don't know the rules. You might, Spencer. Let's get Sam on the horn.
FaceTime real quick.
And ask him what they are. That's awesome. You fuck with the Boss Tones?
No.
Oh, you should check them out.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of them,
It's a similar idea to Full of Hell with what you're doing.
A lot of checkers like us.
Yeah.
Presented differently.
The one guy just dancing.
Yeah.
The guy's moshing with his horn.
That's what Dylan initially was the dancer. He switched the vocals.
Good move. Great move. Okay, so trumpeting ecstasy. Speaking of ska, next full length after the body collabs. This feels like big level up. It's like Full of Hell's kind of really arrived by this time.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about putting that record together, how it was received, what things felt like within Full of Hell at the time.
We had like the Merzbow collab, like the LP version came out on A389 and the CD version came out on Profound Lore.
Okay.
And yeah, that was like to a point where it was like, I think all of us were kind of stepping up and being like more technically proficient players. And we're like, let's kind of lean into that some more than like just like grind and like, punks type stuff. And it was like, it got to a point where I was like, I mean, I was so self-conscious about like other releases being like, oh, this is too death metal sounding. Whereas that record, I'm like, if it comes out death metal sounding, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? I remember when that came out, I saw that fucking artwork everywhere.
Yeah.
Every day online, in whatever social media, whatever was around at the time, I saw it fucking everywhere. And I remember thinking like, damn, they just like you said, Colin, like they did it.
They fucking did it, man. They grounded.
Yeah.
And I mean that, like when Mark McCoy did that artwork and me and Dylan first saw it and we're like, I don't know, man. We're like,
really?
We wanted it to be more like Youth Attack looking. And he sent that to us. And then it was like the next day, me and Dylan were like, it is kind of striking. It's like very simplistic. And then like the first tour we did for that record that had maybe only been out a couple months, like we saw people at an obscene extreme with trumpeting tattoos already. And we were like, holy shit.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. Thank you.
I genuinely think Mark is in like a league of his own in the like photo alteration world. Taking something real and making it not real. I think he's the GOAT.
And like, that's another thing that comes up, like looking at his stuff and with like the new record. And I don't mean to like jump ahead, but it's like, it's kind of weird now that like, cause people already have given a shit for the new cover being like, is this AI? And I'm like afraid people now are going to be like, to him be like, oh, your stuff's AI looking. And it's like, no, he's just like was ahead of the curve.
He is the eye.
Yeah. And it is simply I. It is artificial in that it is, this is not a photograph anymore.
Yeah.
But I made it with I. So silly.
Wow, I've never even thought about that.
So yeah, we're leveled up at this time. You got 2 more LPs. Okay, so Weeping Choir, that's Relapse?
Yeah, that's the first one with Relapse.
Amazing. How did that come about? How was working with them on that?
I mean, it was cool. Like we had always just done like such small, like niche labels. Like I feel like Profound Lore has grown a lot, but at that point it was like such an extreme underground metal label. And then of course, like A389 was like very hands-on with just like Dom. And then it's like, I mean, we did a 7-inch with John Caution as well, which,
hell yeah.
Right.
We'll, say stuff about that. But
I would love to get into that. This is a safe space.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say the second press, he was like, Closed Casket can do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Man, he's got a lot on his plate, that man.
He really does.
Just
Damn,
saw him 2 days ago.
Yeah, Profound Lore. Sorry, I just had to double check that they put out the Disma record.
Yeah.
That's one of the best things ever.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, stuff about that, but
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
Fuck them, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
it's pretty good.
I remember at the time it being like death metal is back. Like when that
Yeah.
came out, it was like, oh, like here it is.
yeah.
At what cost?
Yeah. Yeah, good. Like, I mean, it was cool working with Relapse. It was just like such a different experience compared to like more DIY stuff. That's like, I mean, like I said, it was cool, but there's certain aspects where I'm like, I kind of like the DIY, like hands-on approach to it more.
Interesting.
Sure.
Rather than talking to somebody's assistant and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean,
Email
it's like
chains
with
and-
Justin, I can text him.
Lord, can you ever?
Yeah. With Relapse, it's like, they're like a big machine. So it's like, you got to email this person in this department, this person in this department. Like,
Which is like, it's a sign of how good they are at their job to an extent, of like that they've grown into something so big and successful that it has to be that way.
Right.
But like a band like Full of Hell and like our bands, I'd much rather just call the guy and be like, hey, what color can this record be?
Yeah.
yeah. And like going back of like me getting into extreme stuff. I mean, if we're all the same age, I'm sure you guys remember the old Relapse website where it was just like,
Oh, yeah.
you go to the tabs of like, here's this genre, and then you get to like the super extreme, like gore grind and porno grind stuff. And you're just like, I don't know if I want to get into this deep. So,
But they had it all.
They
Yeah.
had it. It was there.
It's a huge benchmark. I mean, Relapse is like one of the greats in this world. So that's a huge accomplishment.
It's a household metal label name for sure.
But something like Closed Casket, where when you bring up this Nothing collab, which is both insane and like it's a home run, this thing. When No Birds Sang, it's called.
Right.
It is your most ambitious collaboration, I feel like.
yeah.
It's an amazing example of what both bands are capable of and what both bands can bring out in each other. Somebody like Justin is not going to hesitate with something like this.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was an instant like, yeah, of course, let's do it. Here's money.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, that like, and there was so much going into it, not even just like the recording part of it is just like figuring it out kind of thing. It's just like,
How did you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
so, I mean, initially it was to play at Roadburn, so it wasn't even written. Like they asked us to do a collaboration and we were like, okay, like, and instead of being like, oh, let's just like improvise and do some like free form stuff or like cover each other's songs, Nikki was like, how about me and Doyle like come down to Ocean City for like 4 days and we write some songs. So we wrote like four or five songs, like demoed them, sat on them, and then practiced it one more time before the set and then played it for the first time in front of like 3,000 people.
Oh,
That's
And
insane.
it hadn't even been like formally recorded yet. So
Wow.
like we sat on those like demos for a couple years, like I think 2 years. And then we finally had enough time. Like both of us had like our schedule that we could go to Will Putney and like spend like, I think 10 days, like just tightening everything up, making sure like structure and all that. And then we recorded it.
Wow. So this was 3 or 4 years ago that you actually played the songs?
Yeah. I think it was Roadburn 2021.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was like, I mean, that was like one of our, first. I think we did a couple shows with Converge, and then we did Roadburn. But yeah, like right after COVID. So yeah, and that was like for Roadburn, we had to play Trumpeting, Weeping, and Garden all the way through. And then on the fourth day,
One set?
No, it was
Okay.
we played 4 days of the festival.
Oh, it's one of those. I see.
we had to learn like 60 songs plus remember this collaboration.
Dude, I would have been losing my mind.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like,
I don't know if any other band could have done that.
Holy
and
shit.
like I said, like, you know, first time playing the Nothing collab, not in front of like a small venue, but like a theater in, you know, Netherlands.
Yeah. How much did the songs change between that and when it was time to record them?
I think we just like mainly just like tightened up stuff of just being like a lot of the stuff. It's like, okay, we got to fill an hour-long set for this collab. Let's like, you know, run this part this many times kind of thing.
Sure.
Like let it breathe. And once we got in the studio, we're like, all right, this feels more comfortable, blah, blah, blah. And then we wrote 2 songs in the studio as well.
Cool. And you know, Putney's the guy to do something like that with. I feel like.
Yeah. And I mean, that was like the first, like we've worked with like Kurt, Baloo and stuff. And, like I said, Machines with Magnets, but I think that was like the first time that we had worked with like a producer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same for us when we recorded with Will. We did actual pre-production where it was like, show me what you got. I've heard the demos. Let's sit down and dissect every song and make sure it's exactly what we love. And it's probably the most important part of any project.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Huge.
I mean, sometimes you get lightning in a bottle and it's just perfect the way that it is and should be delivered that way. But a lot of times an extra set of ears that isn't involved, that is like can refine.
There's no ego in that, in those changes or those decisions. It's just like, hey, this is what would be better.
Yeah.
To me.
And I think that was like a very important like learning process of like working with Nikki, because like we did butt heads in the studios because I think it's like we're both like the strong voices behind both of our bands, but I think it was helpful with this new record of being like, well, this actually serves the song. Like, don't force things, don't add things, kind of thing.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I mean, I can't stress how successful that collaboration was just to me. And I know that just by talking to Justin every day, when you did it, Justin was texting me and calling me sometimes just to talk about it, just to be like, I can't fucking believe how sick this is. So that's another endorsement of just like what it's like to work with Closed Casket, is that he's so excited about everything he's working on that he's gonna make it work. Coagulated Bliss is the thing that's about to be working real well. Recorded with Kevin Bernstein at Developing Nations. How was that?
I mean, we've been working with Kevin since our first LP, Roots, and he's done he's done Roots, Rudiments, the Merzbow collab, and like 4 or 5 splits that we've done in 7 inches.
Oh, wow.
So we've been working with him for years, and he's the one that makes the aluminum guitars as well. So yeah, so like
So he's done about 20 of your records.
Yeah, 20 of our records. I mean, he's recorded our side projects. I was in a band called iFlies with him at one point. Like, so we know each other pretty well. So
Awesome.
kind of an unofficial additional member.
He's part of the squad.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Mixed by Taylor Young.
Yes.
So I heard this thing early. I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I think 6th LP, 31st record, best one.
Oh, thank you.
Which goddamn is that difficult to pull off 31 records later.
Oh, thank you.
It's truly a sonic adventure that I can't wait for people to hear. Taylor mixing it for me, to me as a fan, longtime fan and listener. Taylor's whole like philosophy with music is making it real. Mm-hmm. And making sure it's like, hey, what you're doing, I want people to hear. What you tuned your snare like, I want people to hear. The tones that you create, I want people to hear. So it really kind of felt like the perfect meshing between what his philosophy and what you guys believe in and the music you write. How was that? How are you feeling about the way the record sounds? I personally was blown away by it.
And I like, that's like the thing, like, Kevin is he's in this band called Triac that's been around forever, but he's like a Baltimore like grind guy. Like,
okay.
So there's certain aspects where he was like, I think it should sound like this. And we're like, we trust Taylor to do it because it's like, he's going to come from a different angle than you. And we want to meld like your more raw grind background with Taylor, who like does mix like something like Suicide Silence. Like we want to combine where it's like the grittiness, but it sounds modern as well.
Sure. And I do. I mean, and the way you nailed that with this one. It was really funny hearing him be like, yeah, I'm mixing this Full of Hell record right now. It's fucking awesome. Just waiting on sax. Just waiting on the sax track. Very good. You got Ross from Immolation on a track.
Yeah.
How'd you pull that off?
When we toured with the Cavallero brothers, Immolation was on that tour. And that was like, it was cool to be like, oh, the Cavalleras. But then Dylan called us while we were at band practice and was like, oh, Immolation's going to be the second band. And we're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
But like the best part is the first show was like at the Hard Rock Cafe in Las Vegas.
Played there.
Yeah. And
that's a wild one.
Like we are used to being like, we just started touring with a trailer like a year ago. It's always been just like cram everything in.
A year ago now?
Yeah.
You have so many items.
Yeah, we just crammed it in.
Just on a sheer mathematical item math equation. How could you do that for so long?
That's the ultimate Tetris.
We were kind of like the first tour we did it with was this Converge tour, like I forget whenever, but we were even like, we should just try to see if we can fit everything in the van without the trailer. And we were able to do it, but we were like, this is just going to suck. So we were like, all right, let's just use a trailer. But Immolation pulled up in like a beat up fucking black, like old Ford van from like the mid 90s. No trailer either. Or no, they had like a U-Haul, but they were all like, throughout the tour, they were like, yeah, we don't get hotels. We sleep in the van every night. We just take showers at truck stops. And then we were like, all right, these guys are the real deal. And like...
So you were inspired. You were re-inspired by that.
Yeah, and then like we played a show in New York, and like Ross came to the show just to hang out, and then he was like, "Oh, here's all my friends from the old CBGB's days, and all those guys from like Breakdown and stuff like that." And we're like, "Oh yeah, shit. These guys are literally the real deal."
That's fucking awesome,
dude. Damn, Immolation fucking rocks. That's crazy. Was it that crazy Acacia Strain tour you did where you finally got a trailer?
No, it was like I said, the Converge tour.
Oh, okay, the Converge one. Yeah. Right.
But the Acacia Strain tour was I think second time ever that we used the trailer.
That tour was wildly successful, so thank fucking God you had that trailer. Wouldn't have fit all that cotton in the van.
Trailers are so much. I'm so great. We only started doing them a couple of years ago. Also, like a year before COVID, really.
Yeah,
and like they changed so much. I think they're safer because you have to go slower.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be a little more mindful. I don't know. I love them, and I can't believe how many overnight drives we did like sitting up.
Dude, fuck that. I'll never do it again. I have to be horizontal.
Never.
Yeah, we're just like, I mean, we were always kind of just like, for even doing DIY touring, it's like you hear so many bands of being like, oh, let us sleep on your couch. We were always just like, we don't want to talk to anybody. Let's just sleep in the van. Someone's sleeping on the bass cab. Someone's sleeping underneath of the van. Like,
holy hell!
Great move. 15 years later, Spencer.
Yes.
The dynamic within the band. Dylan, Spencer, Dave, and
Sam.
The sax man. How could I forget the sexy sax man? What's the dynamic like between the four of you this long into your career?
I mean, we're all very, very different. Like, Dave is very much a party guy. I'm like, I mean, Dylan is like, a dad now. I'm like,
oh shit.
Sam is like, he lives in Philly, so he's, part of like the cool, like hanging out with the Philly punk kids and stuff like that. So it's like,
he's at jazz clubs. Yeah. He's at the jazz clubs. He's
he's at the Funky Chicken on Sundays.
So dynamics, we're all very different people, but I think we all have like a very common goal of just being like, I mean, we've been doing this band for how many years? Like, what else are we supposed to do?
Sure. Do you get along well to this still?
I mean, there's ebbs and flows with it. So.
For sure.
Yeah. It's a family affair, you know?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, I would say my band are my 4 best friends in the world, and we fight every single tour. Everybody does.
Yep.
31 records. Yeah. You're gonna argue. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's fine. We accept it. Some questions that we kind of like to ask everybody. Spencer, you ready? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Full of Hell's on tour, right? Mm-hmm. You're flying down the road. And I got a couple other ones. We'll go back. But you're flying down the road. You're all starving. Out of your fucking mind.
So hungry. So hungry.
You see this magical sign that has all the food places on it. What is the place that the band is going to unanimously agree to pull over and eat?
I think probably because they're so rare now, Pizza Hut Express.
Express?
That is a first.
Dude.
Yes.
What does Pizza Hut Express have that a normal Pizza Hut, like, what? Tell me. I don't know.
Just the little pans.
The little pans and breadsticks, and that's it. But it's like, it's baked differently. It's like the sauce is a little bit different, but it's like, you don't see them that much anymore. They're maybe like once every couple, like every 5 states.
Wow.
So Full of Hell loves the Pizza Hut Express.
Yes. And it's like, I mean, that's a place where it's like, when we see it, we're like, all right, we better go get it.
Sam's like, dude, that's fucking.
Dude, Target has that.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
okay,
but like, so the Target by my house, it like has a self-serve Pizza Hut Express, and it's like, maybe the people put out pizza maybe like once a week. It's just like they don't stock it. Yeah.
I got
Oh
you.
my God. I'll grab one on the go when I'm getting my cart. Most times I go to Target.
I mean, when I lived in Philly, I lived I lived in a pretty bad area. I lived in Kensington. So I was like, I'm not walking around. I would drive to the Target and be like, all right, I'm getting Pizza Hut Express. And then even too, like when me and my wife are like, all right, we got to watch wrestling tonight. Let's go to Pizza Hut Express, get some pizzas and bring them home.
Well, now you've cracked another nut off here. What kind of wrestling you into?
What are we talking?
So, I mean, I know you guys, you're with Brody, but I'm a WWE guy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I like.
It's gotten better.
I like the stories more than the actual wrestling. That's like me and my wife, like, and I mean, we like watching about like all the old like territory stuff, and it's so
dude, that's the coolest shit.
It's so story based. That's why we like WWE.
So have you been watching since you were young?
No, I remember like the Attitude Era when I was like in elementary school, but it was like all the kids that were really into wrestling in elementary school were kind of like dicks. So I was like, I don't like wrestling. But like for some reason, me and my wife were just like, let's just watch like Money in the Bank, and then we've just been obsessed ever since.
Which one? This year?
Like 2 years ago.
Okay,
2 years
and
ago. Was
like,
that the COVID one?
No, it was like right after COVID.
That was fuck. That sucked,
dude. The COVID one though, there was. I mean, obviously, McMahon is persona non grata, but when Danielson and AJ busted into his office, that was pretty sick.
But my God, brutal.
Yeah. So let me ask.
That's hilarious.
What can you give me your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers? Just your big 4, your guys. Doesn't matter what era, living, dead, whatever.
I would say Mick Foley, obviously number 1. I would say Perk Angle when he was in TNA.
Yeah, TNA, dude. The fucking front flip into the scream, like
onto Abyss and then landing on his feet. Really inspirational to me.
All the time.
Yeah. I gotta try Perks, dude.
Terry Funk,
dude, the Funker.
And then I would say more modern guy, CM Punk.
Hell yeah! See, this is our common ground.
You're great. You got to come on back now. Wow, that's awesome.
Did you watch WrestleMania this year?
Yeah. I mean, me and wife, like we're always like, oh, let's have like a cookout, and have watch WrestleMania, but also too, we're like, let's actually not have people over because like if Cody lost this year, we are gonna fucking scream like idiots and be like, oh, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I would say WrestleMania this year, night 1, may be worst WrestleMania of my lifetime. Night 2 may be best WrestleMania of my lifetime.
I mean, I really liked the CM Punk Drew McIntyre stuff.
That was fucking incredible.
It was the best part of the show.
100%.
Best part of the show.
But I mean, like, I even think at this point, like, I like the Bayley match more than the Rhea Ripley match this year.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Rhea and Becky, but I'm a Bayley day one. Dude, when she won in Brooklyn, Spencer, I wept.
That NXT takeover, it was her and Sasha, right?
Yeah.
That match.
I'm telling you, dude, Niagara Falls. Wept uncontrollably.
Wow.
I love her. Anyway.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's good.
Colin, you and I, you typically will throw on like a pay-per-view, right?
I mean, there's one of my like comfort things I'll do, and I've been doing it lately while I've been playing Fortnite, is I'll have like WCW Starcade 98 on over here or something, you know?
But I'm saying like I watch AEW weekly, but I'll throw on like whatever pay-per-view WWE has, I'm going to watch it.
Oh, you know, week to week, like month to month. I think I find Raw thoroughly unwatchable. Yeah. It's brutal, dude. Especially when the bell rings. SmackDown, probably the better show. Spencer, would you agree? Yes,
and like my wife and I don't have cable, so we'll like watch the YouTube highlights from the night before of like Raw or SmackDown or whatever, and then we'll watch all the pay-per-views.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay. That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
Raw on Netflix, I think, might change that.
It truly might.
That's crazy.
I think Royal Rumble is going to be in Milwaukee this year, so Papa's looking to go up there.
Yeah, maybe I'll come with you. Pardon this interruption. We have something very important to tell you.
So important.
I am feeling so good lately.
Why is that, Colin?
My body is just, I'm recovered. I'm feeling good. And that's because of this AG1 that I'm drinking.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to tell you an anecdote. I recently started working with a personal trainer. He recommended that I get a powdered green as part of my daily intake. And he recommended AG1. And I said, guess what? He said,
I'm going to go ahead and stop you there, pal.
Yeah, I take that every damn day.
That's good. Beautiful. And as you know, we saw in the AVN video last week, AG1 is a worldwide phenomenon. It's making people feel good. It's making people look great. You drink this every morning on an empty stomach. You get everything, all the vitamins, probiotics, prebiotics, everything that you need. This is what the game has been missing for us. Truly.
Yep.
We can't thank them enough for being part of the show and really just like giving us the opportunity to try this and become part of our daily regime has been life-changing.
Absolutely, literally life-changing.
Yeah. And you know, you're not going to feel it when you drink it, but you're going to feel it when you don't drink it. Something's off. It's going to be like, oh, this is how I used to feel. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not the moon or whatever sign is in the zodiac right now. No.
Exactly.
You didn't.
One little scoop of this tasty green powder right into 12 to 16 ounces of cold water. You're going to shake it up in the bottle that you get straight from them. athleticgreens.com/hardlore. You use that, you're going to get 5 free travel packs and a year's supply of vitamin D. Mm-hmm. This episode is also brought to you by Manscaped.
Boy, is it ever.
As always.
Yep, we both got stuff on the way. I can't wait.
Mine just came, Bo. And I'm reviving and preserving all over the place. All over this house, my crops are being mopped.
Beautiful. That makes
it is a gift.
It's the best. I love Manscaped. Every product I've tried from theirs, I find value in. I find ease in. Like it's easy to sound like we're selling something, but we're not. We use this every single day.
No, I mean we reached out to them because we believed in the product because they solve problems And that's what we're all about, solving problems. I don't like these minor inconveniences that I find around my life. I find ways to get rid of them.
Yeah.
For me, for us, Manscaped was one of those ways. You never have to smell a ball again if you use the crop preserver. You never have to be stinky after a set again if you use the crop reviver. You never have to have a dry butt wipe again if you use the crop mop.
The crop mop.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yes, I use the body wash. I use the scrubber. I got the handyman in my recent delivery. I'm excited to shave. It's great. They're the best. What do they get if they use code HardLore on manscaped.com?
They get 20% off. That's 1/5 of the entire order, site-wide, and free shipping.
Say that again.
1/5 off of your order. You would be a fucking fool not to use this code. So go to manscaped.com and do code HardLore, 20% off and free shipping. Back to the episode.
Come on down.
Speaking of Mount Rushmore, Spencer,
Okay.
we've been enjoying asking guests. We've been calling it LetterMoshd. Their 4 favorite hardcore albums of all time.
Okay.
Could you give us your picks?
Okay. I knew this was coming, so I grabbed a stack.
Oh, perfect. He
You're
came
awesome.
prepared.
I would say, and it's like, I don't like traditional hardcore. I mean,
It's
you
okay.
can tell from probably the music. The only one I don't have like a physical copy of is Glacial Rain by Mind Eraser. I would say one of my
Dude.
top ever.
Awesome pick.
Amazing record.
I would say La Ravanka by Spaz.
Excellent.
Incredible.
Okay.
The Crusties are giving you a standing ovation right now.
Yes.
Erica Perez is giving you a standing ovation right now.
No Heroes by Converge.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
dude.
Number 1. Best Converge record.
Wow.
I would say Detestation by Gizm.
Wow.
And then
You're awesome.
Primitive by The Endless Blockade.
Wow.
I'm unfamiliar.
These are 4 dark horse picks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, from Pizza Hut Express to WWE.
This guy's hazardous to the status quo.
Wow, I love it. Great answers.
Incredible work.
Thank you.
Who do you do, Spencer?
Yeah.
What is that?
Who do you do when you're playing live?
Okay.
Who are the musicians that you are subconsciously or consciously pulling from when you're physically performing?
I definitely am definitely Sonic Youth. Playing Jazz Masters and just making noise on guitar. I would definitely say Troy from Morbid Angel.
Oh,
Man.
that's a good one.
Probably the guitar player Discordance Access.
Dude, great band.
Yeah.
And again, I'm
Hard fucking band.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wow.
even too, someone like Jay Mascis.
I mean, that's a god.
He is the tone guy.
Yeah.
I love his attitude about stuff, and I love that they'll just cover Boston bands. Like they'll play a Last Rites song.
Yeah.
They cover chunks. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, they're sick. He's sick.
He's sick.
They're his guitar tech is a guy named Graham. I don't know if he's still his tech, who played in Annihilation Time and is in the band Lecherous Gaze. And that's the most underrated, I would say, American guitar player, I would say, is Graham.
I mean, I had no idea that that's sick. I mean,
Dude.
That that blues guy Joe Bonamassa,
Oh, yeah.
his guitar tech was in Carcass for after Heartwork came out.
See?
Whoa.
So
It's beautiful. Well, that's incredible. Spencer, here to kind of wind this down, we have some questions from our Patreon people we're going to hit you with.
That's right. Patreon for all you listeners.
Patreon.com/HardLorePod. This one's silly. Are you really full of hell, or is it 3/4 full? You don't have to answer that.
okay.
What's the strangest thing you've encountered in the woods?
Oh, that, just for all future references, these are the kinds of questions I want.
This is what I like. Yeah.
That's a beautiful question.
I mean, one time, like, I don't know, encountered in the woods. I know the only time that we're able to go to the suicide forest was at 2 a.m. And we went there and it like started to flood. So we were like, all right, we better turn around. Like,
Dude.
So
No sightings, thankfully.
no sightings or anything like that.
But at 2 a.m., how would you know?
Yeah, true.
I mean,
You
it
never
was kind of weird.
Could have been blood.
Yeah.
The flood. Could have been blood.
I don't think I could go to that forest. I don't think I could.
I could go.
I watched a documentary on voluntary euthanization, like how they're doing in like Holland or whatever, somewhere just past it. And it was on HBO, and like you watch a woman just get an injection and pass away willingly. And it's like her thing. And it was so intense that like I had to turn it off.
I mean,
I'm glad that people are able to do that. If whatever, I'm fine with it. But it was like so intense for me. I just couldn't.
It's like a situation where it's like, yeah, it's cool to go to that and like, oh, getting creeped out is cool. But it's like, if we actually ran into a dead body, like, I mean, I think that's like a life-changing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no good.
That's a bad omen. Bad vibes.
Dude, my mom and I used to live in this apartment complex outside of Chicago, and we were on the end of an L street, and you had to turn at the L to get to our complex. At the L was the beginning of this forest preserve. We were driving back from Thanksgiving dinner at my aunt's one time, and I heard my mom, I was kind of sleepy. She gasped and grabbed my head and kind of like put it into her shoulder. And I was like, what? And I was in grade school, and she's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Well, she knew your pussy ass after watching Blair Witch. How you would react to seeing that. Respectfully.
All right.
Respectfully.
I was heated until you disarmed me.
Respectfully.
But anyway, it was a guy who had hung himself at the L. So he was literally swaying in the trees. And my mom like shielded me. And this was pre-Blair Witch, by the way. And she
had no idea.
She didn't let me like look out, like, because you could see it from our apartment. Like it was right there. She didn't let me, like, she closed the blinds and everything. And she told me much later. And that whole vibe, you don't want to be Logan Paul walking around there.
No. I wouldn't film it or anything.
No, fuck no. It's terrible.
From living in a resort town, like, you see people hit by cars all the time crossing the highway.
Really? Jesus.
Before the second Full of Hell tour, we were like, oh, let's go to Royal Farms, like, after practice. And there was like a bunch of ambulances like on the highway in front of it. And we were like, oh, let's go walk up. And it was like a guy had gotten hit on a motorcycle. And we were like, they were like, hey, should we get the neck brace? And like the other EMT was like, don't worry about it. And they like picked him up, and we saw his brain start falling out of his head.
Yeah.
So
I had one of those one block, like my block right here about a year ago, where the accident was like here, the light is over here, and his body was way past the light.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was like, boom.
Yeah, right.
Just flew, and like one of the grossest things I've ever seen.
And like, that's somebody's son, brother, mother, whatever. It's just like the worst, dude.
Terrible. What's your favorite song to play live?
I guess Crawling Back to God.
Oh.
They all do it, huh?
Yep.
So, serious question. What inspired you guys to do an album with 9/11 themes, which is the Nothing collab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more of a Nicky thing. So that's more of a question for him.
Deflect.
Yeah, Nicky hit me, dude.
But I mean, like,
shoot me a text.
Since we're all the same age, I mean, like,
yeah,
it was obviously like such a traumatic thing. I like skipped school that day. Like, I like told my mom, I was like, oh, I'm sick. And then I like turned on the Today Show as the second plane was hitting.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So that's what, I mean, like, and then, every channel was that. And, you try to turn on Nickelodeon to even get away from it. And then you see people jumping off the building.
Dude, and then Lori Beth Denberg is there being like a second tower has playing his hit
Yeah.
the tower.
Lori
Yeah.
Beth Denberg.
Lori Beth Denberg, she's bringing you vital information saying a second plane has
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah, and then she gets slimed.
Watch. I remember our 8th grade English teacher turned it on in the classroom. We watched it
Yeah.
in class. It's horrible.
Yeah. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a bit when I heard it.
Yeah.
In 4th grade.
Yeah.
What would your dream tour package be and why?
Oh. 4 bands.
How many bands?
4.
4.
4? Oh. I mean, beside like us, like with us on it.
Yeah, with you on it. Let's assume that's what they're.
Well, my dream tour would just be us and 3 other bands as the 4, never 5 bands.
Yeah, right.
Definitely Godflesh.
Fuck yeah.
Amazing.
Godflesh. That's a hard one. I mean, yeah, I honestly don't know because you put me on the spot. I don't know that one.
Godflesh, Immolation,
Yeah.
The Cavalera Brothers.
and the Cavaleras.
Yeah. Dream tour would just be us and Godflesh. But
Dude,
Okay.
straight up. Have you ever played with them?
uh
Or met?
Full of Hell's played with them a couple times on like tours that I haven't done.
Oh, fuck. Dude, Justin is the man. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He remixed a couple songs for us when we did an Isolation like re-release and just killed it. He was just like, yeah, I would love to. He's the man.
That's so cool.
They're
Yeah.
Godflesh, I think are a crazy underrated band when it comes
Yeah.
to
But the people that know definitely know.
Yeah,
that
definitely. They're rated.
they much like many other bands have created more jobs than Amazon.
dude, wow. Colin, what's your dream tour?
Dude, my dream tour would be to never tour again.
Mine's Metallica, direct support,
Yeah.
Misfits,
Oh,
with
Harm's Way.
with Harm's Way, and Cosmic Joke opening. Just some buds.
that's good. Favorite use of a sample / single sound in a Full of Hell song?
Great question.
These are actually hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my favorite sound, like not necessarily a sample.
Yeah, just like a noise you've used where you're like, that's a sick fucking noise.
I mean, there's this company from I think San Diego called Trogatronic, and they're like super distinct synth sounds, and like, I mean, bands like they're associated with like Man is the Bastard and Bastard Noise and stuff. But yeah, that's like, you can tell when one of those is being used, and it's like my absolute favorite. It's like they're very hard to use because they are noise devices. They're not really synths, but it's like once you get the hang of it, like
Yeah.
it's my favorite
That's
sound.
awesome.
You like
yeah.
square waves, man?
Yeah. I honestly wish I knew the difference between what that actually meant and whatever.
That's all I know is that's the like hard one.
Yeah.
Like there's no depth to it. It's just bang, you know.
That's like another thing going back with pedals. It's like, what does this do? And it's like, I don't know. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and I mean, bringing it back to Earthquaker, they have a few pedals that are like, what?
Yeah.
You do what with that?
Yeah. They've even have, like, I've had a couple pedals from them where I'm like, I don't know what I can do with this.
Yeah, there's that pink rainbow one.
Did you use it regardless?
Yeah, I have used a rainbow machine on stuff.
The rainbow machine, yeah. The rainbow machine is crazy. Afterneath can be a little nuts. You know, they've got some that are pretty sick.
Yeah.
Interesting. Favorite YouTube video?
Dude, they're killing it today.
That's a great question.
Favorite YouTube video? God, it's like YouTube is such like a cesspool now. I can't think of like the original era of YouTube.
The goats like Leprechaun in Alabama. I mean, that's
Like,
number one.
That the girl when she like the little girl that's like go blah and the dog like pulls her on her face.
Oh,
Classic.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean,
Scarlet Takes a Tumble.
I'll give you one. See if this jars anything loose. And these swords are real sturdy. Oh, and then the tip just got me. Oh, and then Odell's literally like, we may need to perform emergency surgery in the studio.
I can't remember the name. There was like a knife company that used to do demonstrations of their knives.
Yeah.
And they would just like, it'd just be some like chubby guy in a safari uniform, like being like, here's this knife on a ballistics dummy, and he's just like screaming, stabbing it.
Excellent.
I could watch about 3-4 hours of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite Morbid Angel record? Topical.
I would like, I mean, I only ever really got into the first two, like two and Formulas. I never got into like Domination or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's like,
I think you'd like Gateways.
yeah, I've never listened to Gateways. Like,
I think you'd like it a lot.
for some reason, I just went from like Altars, Blessed, and then right into Formulas. Yeah.
No Covenant?
Oh yeah, Covenant. I feel like
Okay.
I have a physical copy of that one, but I like don't listen to that one that much for some reason.
I think you should check out Gateways. I think you'd really like it.
Yeah.
Top 3, and we can just narrow it down to 1 if you want. Songs or riffs you wish you wrote?
Dude, another great question.
Oh my god.
That's a good one.
I mean, like I never think of things as riffs. Like I'm never like, that's a sick riff. I'm more of like a song guy.
Okay.
But like, I mean, that's hard too.
It's tough.
It's like, because I do appreciate a song being built more than just being like, that's a cool riff.
100%.
I mean, if it was a riff, I would say like Ride the Lightning. I mean,
the riff.
intro, yeah, the riff. But like, I mean, like a record that surprisingly has inspired like me personally as like a guitar player in tone a lot is like Pinkerton from Weezer.
Oh, dude,
it's like
heavy record.
Heavy as fuck. Dude, the Tired of Sex riff is incredible.
It's a breakdown. It's a legit breakdown.
That's why I always say to people, it's like, if you actually listen to the guitars, it's like a sludge band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would say like any song off that record, it's like, I wish I could write a song as like perfect as one of like a song on that record.
And the fact that it sounds the way it does as the follow-up to the Blue album is really crazy when you think about
to get more extreme after commercial phenomenon.
Yeah, it's like actual commercial suicide. It's pretty sick.
Sick ass band.
Yeah,
dude.
sick.
I've been saying.
I would say the Angel of Death breakdown riff, by the way. Imagine
dude, when they fucking skank that
and into the oh man,
unbelievable. Woo. Is there, and this is a question from me, Spencer, what is the wildest thing you've ever ripped off?
What do you mean?
Like, is there a fucking Miles Davis part where you're like, I'm gonna turn that into a Full of Hell riff or a song?
Tell him your Barry White thing. That's a good example.
I mean, like turning a Barry White thing into a God Save part is something where it was like, I gotta do that. Is there a part that you were inspired by from a wild genre of music or like a jazz song that inspired a Full of Hell riff or something, or a song? I know you hate riffs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like hard because, like I said, it's like I don't really learn songs or riffs, so I've never been like, I'm gonna rip that off. I mean, Crawling Back to God is like that. I think I forget the name of the Morbid Angel song, but it's like essentially that riff played backwards.
Tried and true.
So, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, most of the time it's like when I'm coming up with riffs, I'm like I said, it's either catchy or like so technical that I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I shouldn't have done this. But then, like,
that rocks.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is Full of Hell excited to play to mostly hardcore kids at Sound and Fury? Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I mean, we started out we consider ourselves a hardcore band. We don't consider ourselves.
You 100% are. Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, we played This Is Hardcore 3 times, I think. Like,
yeah,
it's like the kids that get it get it, and the kids that don't, it's like maybe they might get something from our set.
Absolutely.
You know?
Right.
That's why we play any fest.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's the whole idea, whether it's a hardcore fest or not.
Our second show ever was us, Bad Seed, Naysayer, and Brace War.
So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's all the proof you need. I like the thing. There's something Justice said. It was like a tweet or something where he was like, "I love hardcore. If you see me on a stage with a banjo or some shit, whether you like it or not, I'm still playing hardcore." And I think that applies to Full of Hell and your saxophone.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, no matter what noise is coming out of it, it's hardcore
Yeah.
because it's right here.
It's right.
Let's see. Dream collab, living or dead.
I mean, I would say yet again, like Godflesh. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
we have done, you know, stuff with Justin, like remixes and stuff. And I mean, maybe he's on this new secret record after this. But yeah, definitely. Like, I would love to actually go into the studio with him.
Okay. I was gonna say it seems so within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see how his noggin works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you write with analog old ass machines that you've always written with, or are you using Pro Tool? You know, like I want to see how he makes his shit now.
I mean, it's just crazy to think it's like he invented 2 genres of music before he was 20. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe a third is on the way.
What would you say the second is, if industrial would be one?
Well, I mean, he started Napalm Death when he was like 14.
Of course. I literally forget that he was in Napalm every single time.
Yeah.
He's a god.
Fuck.
Yeah. A true one of the greats. Pioneer.
Pioneer.
A pirate, if you will. What are some of your experiences and criteria for developing such a unique guitar tone, and how has it changed over the course of the band?
I mean, going back to that other question, it's like I mainly heard like Pinkerton and I was like, I want to get a guitar sound like that, but play it as like a metal band, a hardcore band, whatever.
Sick. That's awesome. It's a great answer. What amp are you using now? Like, what's your main amp?
Just orange stuff. It just depends on like
Yeah.
what tour we're kind of doing. So it's like maybe I'll use like the TH100, which is like a more metal amp, or like a rocker verb, which is just like tried and true. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Both around 80 pounds or something?
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Do you tour with bands multiple times? Like, do you have a favorite band to tour with?
I mean, we absolutely loved touring with Weekend Nachos. And it's like we did, I mean, we went to Japan the first time with them.
Oh, man.
That's fun.
That's special.
Yeah. And then we've toured with The Body, I think 5 times, something like that. Like,
Holy
toured
shit.
most of the world with them.
Well, do you play the collab songs when you're not playing with the bands you collab with?
No. I mean, like, I feel like it's like you lose the intent and the vibe.
Yeah. It's an experience. It's an experience. So it's like that is a special aspect of, oh shit, they're throwing with the body. I'm gonna be able to hear these things that they don't ever play.
Which is sick. That's awesome.
It's like the Merzbow songs were like a little different because it's like we did write a record and then added his stuff into it. So we'll play some songs from Merzbow once in a while, but we would never like do like the Primitive Man song or something like that.
Right.
Hey, this is a topical question. Have you heard the Nachos Weezer record?
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I have not.
Dude, I think they cover Tired of Sex.
Yeah. It's like 2 songs, right? I forget what the other one.
Yeah, it's like 2 songs. It's Andy singing, and he can sing. And it's played in A standard or whatever their fucking insane 7-string tuning is. And it sounds great.
It sounds just like Weezer.
Yeah, it does. It sounds just like
Weezer might as well be an A standard. They're that fucking hard. Anyway, well, I think that about wraps up our time here. Spencer, this was a blast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, dude. Are there any words of wisdom you would like to leave with the HardLore world and the Full of Hell world?
No.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's what I thought. Coagulated Bliss is out April 26th. On Closed Casket Activities, you can pre-order it now. You can stream a couple singles right now. They all rip. There's Sax on there. You got Ross from Immolation on there. You got Jake Bannon on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm telling you, 31 records in, they wrote the best one. You're going to love it. Spencer, thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.